The strength in embracing vulnerability. Introduction. Embracing vulnerability might not be the first thing you associate with Stoicism. After all, Stoicism is often misunderstood as a philosophy of emotional suppression or unyielding toughness. But if we dive deeper, we discover that vulnerability is not antithetical to Stoicism. In fact, it's one of its most profound strengths. It is through acknowledging and accepting our vulnerability that we unlock unparalleled growth, authenticity, and resilience. Redefining vulnerability. A Stoic perspective. Vulnerability often gets a bad reputation. It's seen as a flaw, a weakness, or something to hide. Yet, Stoicism offers us a new lens. It encourages us to see vulnerability as an inherent and inevitable part of being human, one that, when approached with courage and rationality, transforms into a source of strength. The Stoic philosophers, such as Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, didn't shy away from discussing the pains, uncertainties, and challenges of life. They understood that the true measure of strength isn't in denying these realities, but in how we respond to them. Vulnerability, in Stoic terms, isn't about capitulation to emotions or fears. It's about facing them head-on, armed with wisdom and self-awareness, the courage of openness. Think about it. Doesn't it take more courage to admit your struggles than to hide them behind a facade of invincibility? Vulnerability isn't about displaying weakness to seek pity. It's about being honest with yourself and others. It's the act of standing in the truth of your imperfections, not to wallow in them, but to address and transcend them. Consider the life of Marcus Aurelius, who openly documented his fears, frustrations, and doubts in his meditations. Through this vulnerability, he found clarity and strength, shaping himself into a wise and virtuous leader. His example reminds us that vulnerability, when coupled with self-reflection, becomes a gateway to personal evolution. Why vulnerability is strength. Vulnerability fosters self-reflection. By confronting our fears and limitations, we strip them of their power to control us. What once seemed like insurmountable weaknesses transform into challenges we can overcome. This is where resilience is born, not from avoiding hardship, but from navigating through it with purpose and resolve. Moreover, vulnerability strengthens our relationships. When we are honest about our struggles, we create an environment of authenticity. Others feel encouraged to share their truths, building deeper connections founded on mutual trust and understanding. Stoicism, far from advocating isolation, promotes the value of a supportive community bound by honesty and virtue. A practical approach to vulnerability. To embrace vulnerability, start by practicing self-honesty. Reflect on your fears and doubts, not as obstacles to suppress, but as truths to confront. Use journaling, a cornerstone of Stoic practice, to put your vulnerabilities into words. Writing them down brings clarity, transforming nebulous fears into actionable insights. Next, cultivate the habit of facing challenges with courage. Each time you open yourself to vulnerability, whether by asking for help, admitting a mistake, or sharing a fear, you build inner strength. Remember, vulnerability is not about losing control. It's about reclaiming it in the face of uncertainty, building resilience. The Stoic Blueprint. Introduction. Resilience is often described as the ability to bounce back from adversity, but Stoicism takes this concept further. To the Stoics, resilience isn't just about survival. It's about thriving through adversity. It's about reframing challenges as opportunities for growth and strengthening your character in the process. The foundation of resilience. At the heart of Stoic resilience lies the dichotomy of control. This principle teaches us to distinguish between what is within our power, our thoughts, choices, and actions, and what is not, such as external events and the behaviors of others. By focusing only on what we can control, we conserve our energy and maintain clarity, even in the face of chaos. Consider the practice of evening meditation. At the end of each day, reflect on your actions, not to dwell on external failures, but to evaluate your internal responses. This habit of daily reflection builds a mindset of growth, turning setbacks into stepping stones toward wisdom. The power of perception. Stoicism emphasizes that perception shapes our experience. An obstacle can either be a source of despair or a test of character, depending on how we perceive it. When we view challenges as opportunities to apply virtues like courage, patience, and resilience, they lose their power to overwhelm us. For instance, Seneca once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Through this lens, every trial becomes a chance to refine our character, transforming adversities into tools for self-mastery. Preparing for adversity. The Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils, is a powerful resilience building tool. Visualizing potential hardships prepares the mind for unexpected difficulties, reducing the emotional impact when they occur. This mental rehearsal fosters composure and equips us to respond rationally, no matter the circumstances. The love of fate. Resilience also finds expression in the Stoic principle of amor fati, or the love of fate. This practice isn't about passive acceptance, but about embracing life's unpredictability as a vital part of our journey. Every experience, whether joyful or painful, contributes to our growth. By loving our fate, we transform every moment into an opportunity for learning and self-improvement, focusing on your own path. Introduction. In a world full of noise and competing priorities, staying true to yourself can be a challenge. But Stoicism teaches us the importance of walking our path, not in isolation, but with authenticity and purpose. The courage of self-sufficiency. Focusing on your path means developing emotional and intellectual independence. It's about finding fulfillment within, rather than relying on external validation or fleeting pleasures. This doesn't mean rejecting relationships or support. Rather, it means grounding your happiness in your values and virtues, not in the unpredictable whims of the world. The obstacle is the way. When challenges arise, Stoics see them not as barriers, but as integral parts of the journey. Each obstacle becomes an opportunity to practice virtues like courage, temperance, and wisdom. This mindset shifts our focus from external difficulties to internal growth, allowing us to navigate life with strength and purpose. Authenticity and reflection. Authenticity requires daily commitment. Use reflection to ensure your actions align with your values, not societal expectations. Marcus Aurelius exemplified this, often questioning whether his decisions were driven by virtue or by fear of judgment. His example inspires us to lead lives of integrity, guided by reason and morality. Conclusion. By embracing vulnerability, building resilience, and focusing on your own path, we can lead lives of profound authenticity and strength. These Stoic practices illuminate the way toward a fulfilling existence, one defined not by avoidance of pain, but by transformation through it. Let Stoicism guide you to a life of virtue, resilience, and unwavering purpose. As you continue on your journey, remember, every challenge is an opportunity, every moment is a lesson, and every action is a chance to align with your highest self. The power of control. Mastering your emotions through action. In life, you cannot always control the events that unfold around you, but you can control how you respond to them. Emotions, though powerful and often overwhelming, are not tyrants unless we allow them to be. Stoicism teaches us that the key to mastering our emotions lies in choosing deliberate, purposeful actions over impulsive reactions. Understanding emotional triggers. Emotions are natural. They are neither good nor bad in themselves. They are signals, a reflection of how we interpret the world around us. The Stoics believed that it is not the events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Epictetus famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." By understanding this truth, we can begin to detach from knee-jerk emotional reactions and choose a rational course of action instead, choosing action over reaction. When faced with anger, fear, or despair, the Stoic approach is to pause, reflect, and act with intention. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions or pretending they don't exist. It means acknowledging them without letting them dictate your behavior. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside ends. Realize this, and you will find strength." This power is the ability to act in alignment with your principles, regardless of the emotional storm you face. Imagine a disagreement with a friend or colleague. Instead of reacting with frustration, take a moment to breathe and ask yourself, what action aligns with my values? Often, you'll find that a calm, measured response not only resolves the conflict, but also strengthens your character. The role of perspective. Perspective is a powerful tool in emotional mastery. By zooming out, we can see our immediate challenges as small parts of a much larger picture. This shift in perspective allows us to approach problems with a calmer, more rational mindset. The Stoics practice this by contemplating their place in the universe. Reflecting on the vastness of time and space can help put our problems into perspective, making them feel less overwhelming and more manageable. Building emotional resilience. Developing emotional resilience is not an overnight process. It requires consistent practice and reflection. The Stoics recommend daily exercises, such as journaling. Write down your thoughts and emotions to gain clarity and control over them. Premeditatio malorum. Visualize potential challenges and your ideal response to them. Gratitude practice. Shift focus to what you have rather than what you lack to cultivate a balanced emotional state. Examples of emotional mastery. History offers countless examples of individuals who embodied Stoic emotional mastery. Think of Nelson Mandela, who, despite decades of unjust imprisonment, chose forgiveness and reconciliation over bitterness and revenge. His actions were not dictated by his emotions, but by his values, a living testament to the power of Stoic principles. Kobe Bryant, a modern icon of discipline and focus, often spoke of channeling his emotions into purposeful action. Whether dealing with personal setbacks or professional challenges, he demonstrated how controlling emotions could drive excellence. The courage to act. Choosing action over reaction requires courage. It demands that we step away from the comfort of blaming circumstances and take responsibility for our responses. But in this courage lies immense freedom. The freedom to live as our highest selves, unshaken by external forces. By embracing vulnerability, building resilience, focusing on your path, and mastering your emotions through intentional action, you can live a life of profound authenticity and strength. Stoicism doesn't promise a life free of challenges. It promises a life where challenges transform you into someone wiser, stronger, and more virtuous. Take each moment as an opportunity to practice these principles. Let your actions reflect your values, and let your emotions serve as reminders of your humanity, not obstacles to your growth. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one.